You don't want to have a kid?
The world is today. Got wars everywhere. It just feels it's a very toxic place to raise a kid right now.
I want to know your thoughts on that. Do you think that the world that we live in now is far too toxic, corrupt, just for us to be wanting to have kids because of the thought of what world are we bringing our kids into? Definitely want to see a discussion around that topic itself in particular. Because I feel like he makes a fair point. But either way, though, let me know your thoughts on that.
Because once you have a kid, you can't just stop being a parent. Like, that's the rest of your life. It changes everything. I can take care of us here. You feel if I didn't feel like I wanted to have kids one day, is that something you could stay with me for?
I'm not gonna lie to you. That question, this is the thing that really annoys me the most about these two. Well, I guess probably every couple on this bloody show, but it's irritating that neither one of these two had this conversation before leaving the United States for Indonesia. You know, because, okay, here's the thing. Two ways we can look at it. One, she already knew this information. So, like I said before in previous videos, she could have confronted him and said, hey, what's this I'm hearing from your sister that you don't want to have kids? Because if you don't want to have kids, well then, I'm going to have to go back to Indonesia by myself and we are over. But then on the flip side, in this situation here, he knows he's withholding his information. He's now made the trip on his own accord. And then now he wants to ask her the question. So what if I don't, so what happens if I definitely don't want kids? What? So you're telling me, and bear in mind, one of his reasons of not wanting kids again is because of the financial situation. He obviously wants to make sure that they're both in a stable place. Respectfully, I like that. But here's the thing. For somebody that worries so much about finances, why would you waste so much money flying all the way into Indonesia, and also on top of that, leave your family high and dry again, because we know that he's done it before in another relationship where he's left his family and he's been lucky for them to even take him back when he came back. He's done it again. So technically he hasn't even got a home to go to and he's got a debt to go back to, right? So my point is, why would you chance asking her this question after you've spent all that money of traveling all the way to Indonesia, amongst other things? This situation could have been dealt with easily if they both had the conversation back in the States. Whether it would have been him, well, ideally it should have been him that told her and said, hey, this is how I'm feeling right now. And then she could have chose what she wants to do. But instead, they both wanted to waste money going all the way. Come on now. Come on. Ridiculous. Hus.
Hurt me like so much. Because before we are married, we're talking about we're gonna have a kid.
It was hurt you. I mean, I wish I could give you a solid answer one way or the other, but...
Let's talk about that too. When somebody cannot give you a solid answer, now I will say this, if you're somebody who knows that they want kids more than they want that relationship, and somebody says to you, I can't really give an answer right now, your choice should be to walk away. You should not stay there within hope that this person's going to change their mind. Hope and expecting them to. Trust me when I tell you this. In relationships, two of the things that you should never have is hope or expectations. In relationships, it's important for you to always know. And when you don't know, it's up to what you want to do. Now, don't get me wrong. In some situations, you can say certain things. Don't get me wrong. In some situations, it's not possible for you to know things. Sometimes it's a matter of things are left like in the middle, which is fine. But in this situation here, this one, there needs to be a clear-cut answer. Yes or no. No maybes. But if you decide to stick around for someone that's telling you a maybe, don't be upset when they tell you that the answer is no or yes, whichever answer is that you didn't want to hear, basically. Remember that.
I think right now what we need to be focusing on is get ourselves settled here.
If he doesn't want to have kid, I will still love him. Waiting to know is like killing me. I don't want to wait and hope forever.
Make your mind up, dearie. If he doesn't want to have kids, I will still be with him, even though I want kids. But me not knowing is killing me. Yo, I mean, for me, that doesn't really make much sense, because if you know that you're still going to be with him, whether he's going to give you kids or not, well, then waiting shouldn't really matter. But I understand it. It's all about needing that clarity. It's all about knowing at least where you stand. At least it's all about knowing this, so you know how to program your brain moving forward. You know what to put in your mindset moving forward. Not knowing and thinking that it may happen because you want it to happen, even though you'd be okay if it, even though you'd accept it if it didn't happen. I understand obviously how that can unsettle the mind. So it doesn't make sense, to be fair. But like I said before, why put yourself in this position? If I am Meitalia in this situation, I'm walking away, because I'm not getting the answer that I need in this current thing. And let's not forget, these two are two people who never got married. And to be fair, that is even wild. The fact that he has changed his mind, or he's on the brink of changing his mind, as he says, after they've gotten married too, is crazy. He talks about once you become a kid, or say once you have a baby, that's a commitment for life, blah, 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 blah. Yes, it is. But to be fair, marriage once upon a time also meant that too. So you're more than happy to get married and potentially throw the marriage away because of the kid situation. But you're not happy to I know it's two different things, but I'm just saying. The logic behind this dude doesn't really make much sense. It's like he complains about money, but likes to waste money. You waste money on getting married. You waste money on traveling here. And listen, I get it. I granted, he changed his mind after they got married. I get it. I completely get it. But for me personally, I feel like that he didn't change his mind after they got married. I feel like he's always had this in the back of his head, personally. And I think that he just waited for something just to tell him that, yes, I knew that having a kid is not for me. That's what I believe. I don't believe that this is something that just came out of nowhere, personally. Because look at it this way. You don't marry someone being unsure of something. And if you marry someone and you know you both plan to have kids, I'm sorry, but you have to stick to that word. It's either that or you divorce that person. The fact that he still wants to be married to her means that he has to stick to the promise that they gave each other, and that is have kids. But of course, that wouldn't be wise to do, because that means he's only sticking to it because of marriage. So therefore, do you know what that means? That they should just get a divorce and go separate ways. Bingo! Just walk away. Oh my goodness gracious me. But hey, these two lost somewhere. Where, I don't know. Nonetheless though, thank you so much for your time. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and of course, peace.